it's time to get re-inspired in your career. Maybe you spent the last few months just waiting till after the holidays. Maybe you spent the last few months just waiting until you could job search at the top of the year. But it's a new day. It's a new year. So many of you are back to work this week. And now it's time to get re-inspired in your career. No more waiting and contemplating and researching. You know that your current work, that your current career is not really driving the kind of results that you'd like to drive. And it's really time to get re-inspired. It's time to get replenished. It's time to get refocused on your career goals and the things that you desire for your career so you can fully go after them this year. Talk about 2 strategies for getting re-inspired in your career in today's live. And so if you need to hear some suggestions, some strategies, some ways to implement a re-inspired career framework, then this live is for you. I'm Ashley. I'm the lead mentor with Mentor Me, and I'm so excited about the new year. I'm definitely one of those new year, new you kind of girls. I love the energy of fresh starts and, renewed energy. Monday's my favorite day of the week. Like, that tells you everything you need to know about me, right? And so I am excited to share some strategies about how to get re-inspired and how to get re-engaged in your career, because I think that, there's definitely an air of I'm going back to work. I've been off for 2.5 weeks. I can't believe I have to go back. And if that's where you are right now, if you're today was the hardest day of my life, I want to just kind of share some strategies on how to get re-inspired and how to get reconnected. And for some of you all, it's not about getting re-inspired in your current role or in your current organization. It's about getting re-inspired to get help in your career so you can actually advance beyond your current job or beyond your current employer. For some of you, there's no re-inspiration in your current organization. You are burnt out, you're overworked, you're underpaid, and you've been ready to get over that job. It's been time for you to transition. And so for those of you who are in that situation, I think today's strategies will also help you think about how to get re-inspired in your job search, how to get re-inspired to get help in your career through a career coach, how to just get recommitted to, the things that you desire for your career so you can actually go after them this year. So the number one strategy for getting re-inspired in your career is to remind yourself of your values, right? I like to think about values as a compass. They should guide your decision making. So to get re-inspired in your career, you really have to think back to or reflect on what are your values? What do you really care about? What drives your decision making? For me, one of my top values is autonomy, right? I like to be able to do what I want to do. I do not like to be micromanaged. I do not like to be, controlled. I don't like anyone managing or micromanaging my time. I want to be able to do what I want to do. I want to be able to move how I want to move. I want to be able to be flexible in my life and in my work. And so one of the things that inspires me is thinking through how I can maintain my autonomy. How can I have more autonomy? How can I have more flexibility, right? And so maybe for you, you really value family. Nothing makes you feel good. Nothing makes you feel centered. Nothing makes you feel grounded like family. To get re-inspired in your career, maybe it's time for you to think about your family. Maybe in your current career, you honestly can't spend much time with family because you're working all the time, or you can't spend the kind of time you want to work with family because you don't make enough money to actually take them on the trips and do the kind of things you want to do with your family, right? So whatever maybe has you feeling uninspired or disconnected or, just kind of down and out about your career, start to think about what you actually value. Start to think about what guides your decision making, because that'll help you get replenished, right? So for example, if one of your top values is family, if that's something that's really important to you, then your family, right? Your value in family should be driving your decision to actually go find and secure a role that will allow you to value your family and spend more time with them and earn the kind of money you want to be able to go on those family trips and take that time off that you really want to take, right? Maybe for you, you really value creativity, right? You're a creative person in nature. You're an artist. You're a creative. You're a thinker. You're an imaginer, right? Maybe that's who you are, but you're in a career that doesn't allow you to live in and relish in and thrive in that value of creativity, right? If that's where you are, one of the ways to get re-inspired in your career is to actually get back to working in a creative environment, right? Maybe we need to move up in our current organization. Maybe we need to transition industries and move out of our current organization. Maybe it's time for us to get re-inspired through being reminded that we really value creativity. And maybe for some of you, right? And if this is you, then we are the same kind of people. Maybe you value wealth, right? Maybe one of your top values is wealth. Maybe you really value you really appreciate financial stability, right? That's a top value for you. And your current job makes you really feel financially insecure. It doesn't allow you to really feel stable and to value wealth or to build wealth in the ways you want. One of the ways for you to get re-inspired in your career is to be reminded that no, the money that I make right now is not enough. And yes, I'm grateful for the job that I have, but I know I desire no more. I know I want more. So getting re-inspired in your career can simply be about being reminded that I value wealth and this job is not helping me build the wealth, right? I think that sometimes we get uninspired, we get unmotivated, we get undisciplined because we lose sight of our values, right? Our values are not in front of us anymore. We can't see what we value. We forget what we value. We forget what the things that we value mean to us. And so we just settle, well, it's just good enough. And, I'm just going to take what I can get. And, this is just how it is. And, maybe I should become an entrepreneur or a dog trainer. I mean, we just start to go all over the place. Like, girl, get focused in your career, get re-inspired in your career by going back to what you value, right? What you value should be guiding your decision making. If you say you value faith, right? But your current job doesn't allow you to spend any time worshiping with other believers or going, to church or praying, then it's time for us to find a new career. We need to get re-inspired by going through our values, right? And so that's step number one. If you feel disconnected from work, if you feel in a rut, if you feel like you're stuck in your career, you should go back to your values. And if you're like, actually, I don't know what I value, or I don't really know how to think through what I value and really understand how to center values in my life right now, that's a sign that you need mentorship, right? Because as a mentor, I'm going to help you interrogate what those values are. And then together, we're going to build a career development plan that's based on your values, right? And so if that's a place where you're really struggling, if you're not really sure what you value, if you don't really know what values are, if you don't know how to identify, define, or align your values, then that is a sign that I would be a great mentor for you, because one of the things that I'm an expert in is helping uncover what you value and then leveraging what you value to actually help you build a career development plan that's actually going to help you make more money and have more impact in your career. And so if that's something that you need support with, if you're a person who's kind of struggled with your career development over the last quarter, over the last half a year, over the last couple of years, if you blinked and it was 2023 and you're like, I've been hating this job since 2019, right? If that's where you are, then that's a sign that I would be a good mentor for you. I'm accepting new mentees right now, and I invite you to schedule a call with me this week right on my website so we can talk about your career. So we talked about getting re-inspired in your career, and the first step to that is really understanding and interrogate what you value, and then understanding how aligned your current life and work are with those values, right? So let's say you value flexibility, but your current job is super rigid. Your current job is super structured. Your current job is super, constraining, right? Like if that's where you are, you can't possibly value flexibility because you're not working in a flexible environment and you're not doing anything to get out of the inflexible environment, right? And so we really want to move in 2023 in a way that's aligned with our values, right? No more of this, well, I really care about this, but doing nothing to espouse that value, right? It's not enough to just know what you value. We also must align our life and our work with those values, right? And so if that's a place where you are disconjoined, if that's a place where you are disconnected, then I strongly encourage you to invest in mentorship this year, because it's really going to help you be more intentional about those values and value alignment. Vanya, one of my mentees, says, y'all, please don't start 2023 without a mentor. And, I could not agree more. Vanya is a mentee who successfully completed my Mentor Me Accelerator program, is an absolute expert in education and has advanced her career through the program. And, she and her story is a beautiful testimony of investing in your career, of getting the help that you need and finding success in your career. So, you don't have to just take my word for it. I'm sure Vanya would be happy to answer any questions, to hop in. You can hop into her DMs, and talk to her about the programs, my programs. You can also go right to my website at mentor-me.org. That's mentor-me.org. Click on success stories. You can see the tens of mentees that I served and the results that I've driven for them. And if you're feeling stuck in your career right now, if you're feeling less than motivated, if you're feeling less than inspired, these two strategies, one, understanding what you value and then working on the alignment of those values in your life and your career, will really help you get re-inspired and get remotivated and get reconnected to advance your career. And if you're like, Ashley, I know I need to make more money. I know I'm unstuck in my career. I just don't know where to go. I want to just remind you that you don't have to have it figured out before asking for help. A lot of high achieving professional women as soon as I figure it out, I'm going to work with Ashley, or as soon as I figure out, I'm going to ask for help. And I think you're not understanding what the word help means. You're not understanding what the word help means. I don't know what I'm doing. I need assistance. I don't know where to go. I need assistance. I'm not sure what the next step is. I need assistance. You don't have to know where you're going in your career to get help in your career. That's my job. My job is to help you figure that out. So I really want to encourage you not to over research it, not to stall. Let's just hop on a phone call, right? Let's just talk about where you are in your career, where you feel stuck, how long you've been there, what have you been doing already that's not working. Let's just kind of have the conversation so that we can kind of stop sitting in indecision and stop sitting in I don't know what to do, and actually start to build a pathway that helps us re-engage in our career. And I will tell you that pathway is going to start with values, right? It's not going to start with hot job markets. It's not going to start with updating your resume. It's going to start with, what do you care about? What guides your decision making? What's central in your life, right? And we will build a career roadmap based on that, right? I think too often when it comes to career, we're talking about passion and purpose and our degrees and our credentials. We don't need to talk about any of that without talking about what do we care about? What guides our decision making? Because that's what should be guiding your career. And if you need some help in interrogating that and thinking through that, you need a thought partner in that, then I would be a great mentor. If you have any questions from this live, definitely invite you to hop in my DMs. If you're watching this replay on YouTube, let me know you're watching the replay. I am very responsive. I would never leave you unread, sis. I'm going to respond to you. I'm going to answer your question. I'm going to provide you with some additional strategies to get re-inspired. I'm going to help you take the best next step in your career. So please make sure that you reach out. I'm not just a personality on the internet. I'm a real woman who's really committed to helping other women advance their careers. And I look forward to supporting you too. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.